Hello YouTube. So, it's been a little while since I made a video on machining with things that you shouldn't be machining with. Or rather, that you can machine with. So anyway, earlier today, on my drill press, I made this 6061 1/4 inch thick aluminum plate. So this is the shell off of a brushed motor that goes on somebody's scooter. I forget what model it is. But anyway, the shell is nice and stout, solid steel. Of course, it had a brushed motor that was weak as can be inside it. But now we're going to put a C8100 outrunner inside there. So I've made this plate. So this outside perimeter holes is for ventilation, and then those 4 holes are for mounting the motor. And obviously the shaft comes out there. So fits in the exact same spot that the factory motor sits in, but with something like 8 times more power. So that should be awesome. Anyway, made that on my drill press with the rotary table earlier today. Alright, so anyway, back on the jet lathe. And here is my cordless drill and all set up in the cross vise mounted vertical. So when I was drilling in aluminum earlier, the leverage wasn't enough, and the first time I did it, I was using an M2 drill, I think. So anyway, the leverage on the whole mechanism wasn't quite so great, and as you can see, it sticks out there pretty far. So the leverage on this original tool rest is fairly significant, enough so that it wants to tweak this way when I'm drilling, because this is pushing. I'm pushing in that way, which is creating twisting forces this way. So I've added a C-clamp on here, which has arrested that movement. But nevertheless, I am drilling. I've already drilled these 2 holes down here where those marks are. I'm about to drill those 2 right there. And my index on here is exactly the places I need to do, and I'll drill 2 more there. And that way this aluminum piece, which is an interference fit with the shoulder I milled on the inside of this old motor can. There's a 1/4 inch shoulder right in here. Anyway, this is an interference fit with the shell, but nevertheless, I'm going to add a few screws around the outside perimeter just to make sure that there's no way it can ever move. And this has come in handy once again to do that. So I'm pretty glad I made this whole arrangement with this little clamp-on assembly, and using my Novichok, which I'll use something else after a while. Just haven't had the time to work that out, but yeah, it's mostly working okay. I still want to replace all this assembly because it's well, it's a bodge. It doesn't really work so good, and do something else. But hey, it works for now. And so far, I've drilled 2 holes, and they've gone fine, and they're drilling straight in. As you can see, the drill bit is probably doesn't show up so well. Is within like the top 1/4 inch or so that it catches in the aluminum. For when I thread M4 in there. But yeah, this works pretty darn good.